Hi, I'm Will. I'm here at SCA 2012. I'm in the Espro booth with Bruce Constantine. How you doing, Bruce?
Doing great, thank you.
You guys have, last year we talked to you and we got to test out your small press pod, which was, I guess, the first Espro product.
Correct.
But since then, you've made something new.
Hey, absolutely. We launched in the last, 4 months via Kickstarter.
Okay.
We launched the large French press. The large French press is just like the small one, except now it gives you enough volume to serve a tabletop in a restaurant setting or in a shop setting or in your home, but be able to serve 3 to 4 adult cups of coffee in a single press.
So not an 8-ounce official cup of coffee, but the 12, 14 ounces everybody actually drinks.
Exactly. This puts about 35 ounces out of the vessel into cups of coffee.
Fantastic. And so you guys had a special filter design that worked with presses to kind of reduce the fines, because a lot of people don't like fines in their coffee, the little sediment at the bottom of the cup, right?
Exactly right, exactly right. 25, 28 years ago, folks came out with the original French press. And originally they tried to put as fine a filter as they could, but they realized if you made it too fine, you just can't push it down. And so the water would shoot around the edges and out of the vessel.
That sounds messy.
Yeah, and for 25 years, the design stayed exactly the same. And we then put ourselves to work to say, how do we get all the junk out of a French press pot of coffee? And what we discovered is to do that, you need to get underneath the grinds. The grinds float where my fingers are. Okay. And if you put a filter that punches down under the grinds, then you can present a very fine mesh to the coffee, and it works. This mesh is 8 or 9 times finer than any French press on the market. On the first filter, the second filter is 12 times finer than any press on the market. The result is about 60 to 80% less grit, junk, dirt in your coffee than any other French press on the market.
But you keep the oil and all the stuff that normally gets filtered out by paper.
Exactly right. People are describing it as an extremely clean French press cup of coffee. All the oil, the robustness, the mouthfeel, but without all the junk in your coffee and junk in your mouth. And what's really interesting is there's a big movement towards single varietal coffees, and people want to taste them.
Yeah.
And in a French press, when there's all the dirt and junk in your mouth, it's hard to taste the cherry notes and the citrus flavors that you can taste when you can pull that away and actually taste those.
Well, if you're spending 15 or 16 bucks for 12 ounces of coffee, you want to taste it.
Exactly, or 30 or 40.
Yeah.
It's crazy how much specialty coffees are now costing, and what we want to do is be able to express those in your home, in your restaurant, in your shop.
So you've changed the filter design a little bit with this generation from the first one. Can we show a comparison?
Absolutely.
So this is the old one and this is the new one, right?
Correct. They look and function very similarly. Both are a double filter. The one on the right is the small filter. Also punches down under the coffee. It has a single barrel filter as the first filter and has a flat secondary filter, equally, coarse, or I should say fine and very fine.
Okay.
The key difference in the large press is that we discovered that if you have a flat filter, the coffee that's beneath it can't pour out. And so in the large press, we created 2 barrel filters. They still double filter just like before, but this ensures that the coffee that is inside of here can pour out. The side benefit, of course, is that the water that is with the coffee stops extracting. The same way that people discovered that you can't pour the coffee out through a very fine filter, guess what? That coffee can't pass through. So we're able to keep in a double-walled vacuum vessel, which is on both sides, you're able to keep the coffee hot, and it stops extracting when you press it down.
So you can make your coffee, put it on the kitchen table, eat your breakfast, and keep topping off throughout the meal.
Correct. In fact, let's serve you some coffee. This coffee is 25 minutes old. I'm either embarrassed or delighted to tell you it's 25 minutes old. And what you'll discover is it's a super fine, super clean cup of coffee.
I'm going to give it a taste here.
Give it a taste.
Well, that is hot. Oh, that's lovely. It's very, very nice. Yeah, and very, very clean, especially if you're used to drinking pressed coffee. And you can grind a little finer with this as well, so your extraction's a little bit faster.
Exactly right. We find that different people grind it different ways, but right now we're grinding more of a metal filter, which is probably a third finer than you would normally grind a French press, and yet we're able to pull out all of the dirt and junk with the filters.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much, Bruce. It's a great cup of coffee, and can't wait to get this in the lab and test it out.
We're thrilled. Thanks for everything you're doing for the market.
Thanks, man.